Hello students, this video is for chapter 1 Democracy for class 9. So here in this chapter we will learn about what is democracy and why democracy. So in this video I am going to tell you the basic things of democracy, and later in further videos we'll go deeply through the topic. The word democracy has been derived from a Greek word demokratia, which means demos. Demos means the people, and kratia, that means power or rule. So democratia is the combination or addition of two words, demos and kratia, which means the power of people, the rule by people. Now, the democracy simply means rule by common people, and in this kind of government, people are supreme. Now, people elect their representatives through election, and these representatives form the government. Now, this government is directly responsible to the people, as they have to explain their actions and defend their decisions. Like we have the democratic government in India and USA. If we talk about the origin of democracy, the earliest democratic system emerged in the Greek city of Athens, where adult male population directly participated in the decision making process. If we talk about India, sometimes before 6th century BC, the Mahajanpad of Vaishali, which is now present in Bihar, was the world's first republic. So Sangh, Gan, Panchayat, these systems were present that time. However, the Panchayat system is still in our government system. If we compare the Asian democracy with our modern democracy, it is very different from each other. Now, Britain is regarded as the first modern democracy. After civil war in 17th century, the royal absolution came to an end, and power was transferred from the king to the two houses of parliament. That means from monarchy to democracy. Now, these houses were House of Lords and the House of Commons. Now, in earlier democracy, right to vote was based on the ownership of property. So, the people who were having property, certain amount of property, only they can vote. In 1928, with Equal Franchise Act, the women got right to vote. After the French Revolution, 1787, France became republic. Now, United States remained partial democratic country from 1787 to 1965, because the right to vote was limited to very few people, and a country cannot declare itself a democratic country without giving the right to vote to every citizen. So it was partial democratic country. Now the First World War, that was in 1914 to 1919, was fought to make the world safe for democracy. And after Second World War, that was 1939 to 45, most countries adopted the democracy. Here you can see the picture of 7th century civil war. Also you can see the picture of House of Lords and House of Commons. So here we will start with our first subtopic, formal equality. Now equality and justice are the central theme of democracy. Both these terms are inseparable. We cannot separate equality and justice. Actually, equality is the precondition of justice. It ensures justice. It gives justice to the people. Now, everybody is given an equal status according to the Constitution of India. There should not be any discrimination made on the basis of caste, religion, color, race, etc. Now, every individual has equal political, economical and civil rights, whether it is a president of a country or a common man of the country. Everyone is same in front of the law. If a person is rich or the person is poor, every person will be treated equal according to the law. And it is the central theme, equality is the central theme of democracy. Now next is decision making mechanism. Now in this, people indirectly participate in the decision making process as they elect their representative through the process of election. Now that representative take decisions on the behalf of entire population. That representative has to keep the voice and interest of the people in mind. If he is not doing so, if he is not working for the good of the people, he is not keeping the interest and voice of the people in mind, people has right to throw him out from the government in election. Whenever there will be next election, they can change their representative through election. Now here you can see through election the power of the government restricts and the increase of the people's participation can be seen in the decision making mechanism. So the regular election restricts the power of the government and increase the people's participation. Also, if people are not satisfied with the working of government, they may not vote for them next time in the election. So this is how the representative have to work according to the people, and this is how the people indirectly participating in the decision making process of the country. Next we have accommodation of differences. How differences come? Differences come when people of different religions, reasons, languages, caste, culture, gender and economic background do not value one another. If there is a disrespect, the difference will arise. There is one more condition when we can see the arise of differences. That is when some of the group of the people feel that they are superior and others may feel that they are being discriminated. That time also the difference may arise. Now, these differences sometimes can lead to violence or loss of lives and property. Many of the rights we have seen for these differences. Now, how this can be settled according to our constitution, how constitution helps or democracy helps to settle down this accommodation of differences. Democracy plays very important role to accommodate these differences. It provides a peaceful solution for this by giving equal opportunities to everyone. Now, when everyone is equal according to democracy, no one will feel superior or no one will feel discriminated. Everyone is equal. Now, all the religion, caste, culture, gender, languages are equal in front of law. Now if everyone is equal, then no one will feel superior or discriminated, and there will be no differences among the people. Now here what happens in democracy, decisions are taken by the majority party or parties. That means the decision will be according to the majority. Now the other parties together form the opposition, and the minorities are also taken care of in this, as the democratic government tries to accommodate minority opinion also in order to enjoy the support of people. That means they will adjust minorities also. The decision will be according to the majority, but the thinking and the suggestion of minorities will be also taken care of. Next is enhancing human dignity. How democracy helps in enhancing the human dignity? Actually, democracy is ruled by the people themselves, as they elect their representative, and that representative takes the decision according to the people itself. So here indirectly the people of the country is participating in the decision making mechanism, and this is enhancing their human dignity. Now the aim of democracy is to achieve social, political and economic equality. It gives the equal status and opportunity to all its citizens, irrespective of their caste, religion, political status and other things. Now, a democratic government makes the special provision for the socially or economically weaker sections, and this is done by the large number of welfare schemes which are implemented by the government. The government implements many of the social welfare schemes for the people. These welfare schemes actually acts like a bridge, the gap between the rich and the poor. It is actually to bring up the weaker section. Now it overall enhances the human dignity, as it is bringing the equality in all the sectors like social, political and economic sector. The people are participating in decision making process also. For the weaker section also, the government is putting some welfare schemes, and like this they are bringing up them. Now these all thing enhances the human dignity. Now we have universal adult franchise or universal suffrage. Now in this, all the adults have right to vote, whether they are rich, whether they are poor, whether they are of any religion, any color, any caste, any political status, they all have right to vote. That means the vote of a president and the vote of a labor is same. Now the voting age in India is 18 years or above. Here you can see the democracy allows everyone to vote, but earlier this was not the condition. Earlier, people who had certain amount of property and education were allowed to vote. So here we can see everyone has a right to vote, and no government can claim itself to be a democratic government without allowing all eligible adults to vote. If government is not allowing all the adults to vote, that is not a democratic country. Till here you would have understood about the major key elements of democracy. That is formal equality, as it gives equality to every citizen. Decision making mechanism, the people are indirectly participating in the decision making mechanism. Democracy also accommodates the differences by giving equality to everyone. It also enhances human dignity, as it is allowing the people of the country to elect the representative and to participate in decision making mechanism. It is also giving the right to vote to all the citizens of the country. Here we have the first subtopic, which is election. As we have already discussed that through election the people of India elect their representative, and those representatives make decision on the behalf of those citizens. Now that decision will be taken by keeping the interest and thinking of the people in mind. If the government is not doing so, if they are not working according to the citizen, then the people has right to throw them out from the government in next election. That means in next election they will not vote for the government, and like this the government will not get chance again to govern. Now this regular election is very essential feature of democracy, as it restricts the power of the government and it increase the participation of the people. Now the Election Commission of India is the highest constitutional authority to conduct elections in the India. Now these elections are held after every 5 years. In this election, the state is divided into small divisions, which is known as electoral constituencies. Now all the electoral constituencies will have the electoral roll or voters list. Now this voters list is the official list that contains the names of all the qualified voters or the people who are going to vote. So here you can understand that how election restricts the power of the government and increase the participation of the people, and thus the people have their right and participation in the democracy. Now we have political parties. Now a political party is an organization of people who have similar views or a set of beliefs on political issues. Now in India we have many political parties, and their aim is to contest and win the election and capture political power so that they form the government. Now you can see the political parties in the picture given here. In this we can see we have Bharatiya Janata Party, Aam Aadmi Party, Congress Party. So like this we have many political parties in the India. Now if any party wins more than half of the seats in the legislature, it can form the government. Now the party that forms the government is called ruling party, while other parties are known as the opposition parties. So if we say about the ruling party, now we have Bharatiya Janata Party is as ruling party, and we have Congress Party and others as opposition parties. Next we have coalition government. Now if there is a scenario that no single party wins a clear majority, that means the number of seats in the legislature which is required, then two or more parties may join together to obtain majority, and that kind of government is called coalition government. Hope you all understood the topics taught in this video. Thank you.